Welcome to my channel. My name is Nick, and whatever you're watching, I'm making videos about. If you're new here, every month I make lists of recommendations for all of our favorite streaming services, so if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do. That way you stay up to date with what to watch and where to watch it. Number 10 is A Walk to Remember. This weepy teen drama is based on a novel by Nicholas Sparks. Shane West plays a bad boy who falls for the Reverend's daughter, played by Mandy Moore, and as they get to know one another, you will need a bucket to collect your tears because it is crushing. Like, if you need to cry, just turn this movie on. It is like a live action version of Up, and I understand if maybe this one is a little bit too much for you, but never underestimate the power that Nicholas Sparks has to destroy an entire audience.
I might kiss you.
I might be bad at it.
It's not possible.
Number 9 is Sex Drive. This teen comedy is about a nerd who gets an online invitation from a beautiful woman to have sex, even though she lives across the country. He gathers his friends, steals his brother's car, and sets out to go get laid, learning the meaning behind love and friendship along the way. I will keep recommending this movie no matter how much the rest of you hate it. I don't care. Maybe this was made specifically for me at the time when I first saw it, but you know what? I think it's pretty damn funny.
What was I supposed to tell her? That I make minimum wage, dressed as a donut?
Ian, why you gotta work the mouth when you talk to me?
Sorry, it's a habit.
Number 8 is 50 First Dates. This Adam Sandler movie is about a doofus who falls in love with blonde Drew Barrymore in Hawaii like anyone would. But due to a car accident, she has temporary memory loss and her brain basically resets every day. So our main man sets out to make her fall in love with him every single day. As stupid as this movie is, it has big laughs and genuine heart. The chemistry between Barrymore and Sandler is undeniable, but it's the ultimate plot progression that makes this one a standout, and while I try to avoid most Adam Sandler movies like The Plague, I think this is the best one he's ever made.
It's gonna be all right, Luce.
Don't call me Luce. I barely know you.
Sweetie, you're sort of dating him. Sorry, I'm not better looking.
Number 7 is Sex in the City. Yes, I have to. Stick with me. The old bags are still in the city, setting the standard for the modern Karen. The plot is every plot rolled into one. People break up, they fall in love, they fall out of love, they go to lunch, they fall in love again. It's Sex in the City. It's like 5 episodes of any season crammed into one single package. And listen, I grew up with the series. I probably shouldn't have. Maybe I watched it a little too young, and now it's just ingrained on my brain. But I think that even if this is a niche favorite, it still makes for an excellent girls' night flick.
After years of living in the city, I assumed that if my friends and I ever got our fairy tale endings, that would be the end of the story.
Hello.
Welcome home, baby.
Number 6 is About Time, a sci-fi romance starring Donald Gleason as a man who discovers he can travel back in time. He uses his newfound power to try and make a woman played by Rachel McAdams fall in love with him. This one falls on the side of being a romantic drama more than a wacky sci-fi rom-com, but if that sounds like your thing, definitely give About Time a watch if you haven't already.
I'm sure it'll be better next time.
My goodness. Well done. Some people make a real mess of it the first time.
Number 5 is Horns, a horror, crime, dark comedy, romance mixture. It's based on a book by Joe Hill, so it's all over the place. Daniel Radcliffe plays a man whose girlfriend has mysteriously disappeared shortly before a pair of devil horns sprout from his forehead. Finding that the townspeople start confessing their sins to him, our protagonist sets out to find out what happened to his girlfriend and clear his name. This movie was really close to being on my list of best romantic horror movies, but it didn't make the cut, so I'm recommending it here. And I find it interesting that horror isn't even one of the many genres that it's listed under on IMDb. I mean, you've got a guy with like devil horns and people are dying and there are snakes all over the place. That's horror to me. It's a bit long and it is absurd, but it's also unlike anything else you'll find to watch on Netflix.
Everyone in this town is going crazy. I think it's because of me and these horns.
You killed that innocent girl. Now the devil has claimed you.
He didn't kill her father, and now people are telling me all these things I don't want to hear.
I'm so bad. I'm bad.
Number 4 is By the Sea, a drama directed by Angelina Jolie that stars Jolie and Brad Pitt as a disturbed couple who try to mend their broken marriage while staying at a hotel in France. Naturally, things don't go very well. I'm not exactly sure where I land on this one. Either it is just plain bad and my brand of bad movie, or it's barely good enough to recommend. It's beautifully shot, but slow like molasses, so if you're interested in watching Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt annoy the living shit out of each other for 2 hours, have at it.
Being the wife of a failed writer is not good enough for pill popping and self-pity? Now you need a better reason to destroy yourself?
You know my reason. Plus, you would have to try and fail to be a failed writer, and you're nothing. You're a drunk.
Number 3 is Adrift, a romantic survival film based on a true story. Shailene Woodley and Sam Claflin star as two lovers who are sailing across the ocean when a hurricane leaves them shipwrecked. Using only the limited resources available, Woodley's character does everything in her power to make it back ashore. I wouldn't say that this is strong enough to be love it or hate it, but I found that for most people this movie either works or it doesn't. And it's not the best romance or disaster film that I've ever seen, but Shailene Woodley gives one of her best performances here that makes it worth watching for alone. Number 2 is Berlin Syndrome, a thriller from director Kate Shortland that stars Teresa Palmer as an Australian photographer visiting Germany on her own. Striking up a lustful fling with a handsome stranger, she finds herself locked in his apartment one morning, and he plans on keeping her all to himself. This is another one that almost ended up on my best romance horror movies list, but I found that it isn't so much a romance as it is a movie about a man who kidnaps a woman and locks her in his apartment. It is beautifully done, but it is very disturbing, so proceed with caution.
How do you think this is going? From 1 to 10?
Maybe 7.
Number 1 is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This English language remake from director David Fincher is based on the Swedish Millennium trilogy. Daniel Craig plays a disgraced journalist who is hired to solve a decades-old mystery. He teams up with a tatted motorcycle-riding hacker played by Rooney Mara to help crack the case. As their working relationship becomes romantic, they uncover a slew of murders that only they may be able to solve. I love this movie. It really never gets old to me. Considering the subject matter, this shouldn't be a go-to favorite, but it is. Obviously, this one should come with all of the content warnings. Like, truly, I think every bad thing is in this movie. It is dark as hell, but if you haven't seen it or it's been a minute, you're gonna want to watch it while it's conveniently available on Netflix.
You will be investigating thieves, misers, bullies, the most detestable collection of people that you will ever meet. My family.
And I want to throw a bonus TV recommendation out there because Netflix has one of my favorite shows that nobody talks about, and that's Halt and Catch Fire. It's a drama series set in the early 1980s and follows a group of connected characters in the technological field. The show spans many years as they develop advancements in computers and contribute to the era of the internet. I don't know how so many people are still sleeping on this show, but I almost never hear about it. It does have a promising 8.4 rating on IMDb, so I feel like those who do watch it love it. I'm not gonna give like a money back guarantee or anything, but if you're looking for a show to binge and you're into hidden gems, you're gonna want to check out Halt and Catch Fire. Completely shifting gears, it's now time for my bad movie recommendation of the month, because no matter what you think of my taste, every time I make one of these videos, I gotta talk about a movie that I know is bad. And for this one, it's Striptease. Demi Moore stars as a former FBI secretary who takes a job as a stripper after losing custody of her daughter in a legal dispute. After a local politician forms a liking to her, our heroine uses the strip club as a cover to carry out an investigation into corruption. At least this movie is trying to be a comedy, but Demi Moore's performance is trapped in a serious drama. This one is about as 90s as it gets. It's mostly just stripping with enough of a crime comedy plot to fill out 2 hours, and that might not sound like a really really great time to you, but if you, like me, love bad movies, you're gonna want to check this one off the list.
My lawyer told me this appeal is going to cost me $20,000. I mean, is there a shot in hell that I can make that in 6 weeks?
Aaron Grant is desperate. And desperate times call for desperate measures.
That is my list of the best movies to watch on Netflix in the month of February. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it, especially if you're new here, if you made it over from that Sinner video. Hopefully, I've given you some better things to watch on Netflix than The Sinner, unless you liked The Sinner, in which case, good for you. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, where you can send me all of your requests. If you're interested in subscribing to my channel, you should definitely hit the bell and turn on your notifications. That way you know when I upload and I actually end up in your feed. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, that's it for this one, but I won't stop you from watching another.